I'm Hugh. In this video we're going to show you how to get data out of the PeakSimple program and into another program like Excel or Word or really anything, how to get the data out of PeakSimple and put it where you want. So I'm going to start by launching PeakSimple. So it's connecting to this GC, and we don't have to be connected to the GC to make this work, but that's what's going on here when we first launched the program. So I'm going to load an old data file, a previously run data file, and you can see I have 4 peaks, right? So the data would show up in this results screen, which normally you get to by going View Results, and here's now the answers, right? So you got the name of the peak, the time the tippy top of the peak came out, that's the retention time. Then the size of the peak, which is all the area under the curve and above the blue baseline that PeakSimple constructs to figure out where the bottom of the peak is. And then finally, the calibrated answer. Calibrated answer, of course, comes from a calibration curve that relates the area of the peak to the numerical answer that we want. So if we want to recalibrate this one, for instance, we hit Accept New, and now the number here changes because I changed the calibration of that peak. So it doesn't matter what the numbers are, but this is the results screen, and it's a table. It's a format. The format is just a table, and it's called the result file. Right now, we don't normally need the result file, but if you want the result file, you click Save, and then you can save this under some name, any name you like, with the extension .res, and you can get that back in Notepad, and if you look at it in Notepad, it'll look exactly like this. It's a text file. But the more useful thing is what we call the log file. So the log file takes this data and it stretches it out into one long line. So the log file then accumulates, so you get this chromatogram in the first line and then the next chromatogram in the next line. And the beauty of this is it's ready for export to Excel because all the columns are already lined up. So it's a one-click thing to get a lot of data out of PeakSimple and into Excel. So that's what we're going to do. First, we're going to create a log file manually, but in real life, the log file gets created automatically at the end of the run because you'll go to the post-run screen and you will say add to results log, and you can define the name of the results log if you don't like our choice, which is ch1.log. So if you click here, then at the end of every analysis, PeakSimple is going to do automatically what I'm going to do manually right now, which is click this button that says add to results log. So I'm going to do that once, twice, and 3 times, and then I'm going to go look at the results log. So I'm going to click Show Results Log. Okay, well, I must have done this again previously because there's more than 3 files in there, but the ones that I did most recently would be this one, and this one. So what you get is you get the name of the data file, you get the date stamp, you get the time stamp, and then all these answers that are here are stretched out in one long line like that. Right? So if I want to export these various files to Excel, so I'm using OpenOffice. So here's my OpenOffice spreadsheet, and there's PeakSimple behind my OpenOffice spreadsheet. So if I go to the results screen and I hit Copy, and then back here to the spreadsheet, and I right-click and go Paste, then now I get this table pasted into Excel. And if I go to the log file, let's see, I don't even have to do that. I just have to hit Copy Results Log, and then go to the spreadsheet, and then paste the log file in. So now I've got my log file in my spreadsheet, and if I want to be really fancy, I can point to the picture of the chromatogram and copy the picture, and then paste the picture of the chromatogram into the spreadsheet. Once it's in there, of course, you can change the size of that graphic and drag it around to make a nice looking kind of a report. So that's how you get the data out of PeakSimple and into some other program, is just by copying and clicking. And the data, again, the data accumulates because you go to the post-run box and you say add to results log. So if I had two channels of data, I can have a second results log named channel2.log, or as many log files as I want. And sometimes it's beneficial. Let me see if I can do this. So I'm going to turn on a second channel of data, and then I'm going to load into channel 2. I'm going to load some different data file. Okay, so this different data file is quite different, but that doesn't matter. What matters, though, is the ability to merge the data from this channel into the results from that channel. So this is a useful thing, too. So we're going to go to the results screen here, and I'm going to change the format so that I show the peak number. So now I'm displaying the peak number, the name of the peak, the retention time of the peak, the area, the internal standard result, and then the units that I'm displaying it in. So if you click on this integration screen, there's this a feature that lets you merge data from one channel to another. So I'm going to first of all go look and see what the data looks like in channel 2. You can see that there's quite a bit of peaks. Most of them have zeros, but that doesn't matter. What matters is the peak number, right? Notice the peak number here starts with 2. They're all 2s, whereas in channel 1, we're just starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So it's important to have different peak numbers in channel 2 and channel 1 in order to make this merging thing work, because if there's peaks that have the same number in channel 1 and channel 2, Peak Simple adds those numbers together, and at least for this case, we don't want to do that, right? So now that I've verified what the data looks like in channel 1 and channel 2, I'm going to go to the integration screen. I'm going to say merge the data from channel 2 into channel 1. So you can see what happened. It took the report from here and added it to the report from channel 1. And this is very useful too. So rather than having to deal with multiple log files and then somehow combine them in Excel, you can combine them in Peak Simple first, and then just with the one mouse click drop them into Excel. So that's how to get the data out of Peak Simple. Thank you for your attention.